didn't want to feel anything, and I didn't want to be accountable to God or anybody.
My parents were into addiction and stuff, and I had swore I would never be involved in that, or my children wouldn't have to grow up that way.
We were both in the church, did not know each other. And we kind of like stumbled across each other and no, literally, well, there's a joke.
He said
because
that I stalked him.
She
I
did
not stalk him.
Well, there was a Christianity class, and unbeknownst to me, she told her niece, that's gonna be my husband one day. And like I said, unbeknownst to me, I'm like, stalker. So that's been the ongoing joke in our relationship and in our family. So yeah, like, I mean, from there, I mean, I was sober when we courted and when we got married, all that.
I knew that he had a drinking problem in the past because he went to a set-free ministry, but I had no clue like the extent of it or anything like that. I was pregnant and I got like really sick when I was pregnant. I was on IVs and I was in bed rest. So I didn't know what was going on outside of my bedroom. When I found out that he was drinking, one of the ways that I found out is I had custody of my little nephew at the time, and he was 2, and he pulled out from behind the couch a bottle of vodka.
What was in a water bottle that
Yeah.
I had stashed in?
He just became a completely different person. So he would come home and he'd be drinking, and he would be just the meanest person. He'd be verbally abusive.
That turned into a vicious cycle, really, of just, okay, well, now she knows, I'm just gonna do it before I get home, or I sit in the field outside of our apartment and drank, and just to numb everything. And then so I walked in the house and I was just numb, you know, like, how horrible is that to think that she's in bed rest? Like, our refrigerator didn't even have food in it. It had condiments and like IV stacked we took shelves out and it was stacked, and I'm over here like just being a drunkard, not even when she absolutely needed me. Like, when I act that way, it's evil. Like, it's not just like, oh, that guy had a drink. Like, it's off the map, off the rocker. Like,
I don't think I was ever scared for my life. I was just like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, I have just opened the door and my childhood just came back to me, and I was like, I'm gonna put my daughter through the same thing that I went through, even though I swore that would never happen.
it led to a men's retreat where I was up there. We were on the mountain, and I told her, like, leading up to it, I was like, man, I feel like God has something for me, you know, and I just kept feeling that, you know, and like, how many times have we said that? But, and maybe it did, maybe it didn't come to fruition, but this time I was up there and I clearly heard God tell me, like, you're done falling down, you're gonna be helping others up. And I remember I was bawling like a little girl. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, almost felt like finally, like, even though I know I'm making my own decisions, I felt like, when is this sobriety gonna come, you know, like, can I be better, you know? And I came home and I was just like, you won't believe what God told me, like, this is it.
He came home from the men's retreat and he tells me this stuff, and that he just heard from God and he had this moment, and I didn't believe it. It took a long time before I believed it. And then just slowly though, I seen the transformation, and I seen that he was back to the man that I married. I seen the transformation in him. It took a couple of years though.
It's what I've always wanted, and it was me that was causing the problem, but I just think that I'm so thankful that she stuck by me.
I am very proud of him. He loves God and he just works so hard. He's always trying to be a better man every day. And I'm so proud of him for that. I just knew that he had it in him to be a better man. And I knew that man that I married was still there. And then he went to Celebrate Recovery for years by himself, and I stayed at home with the kids, and I had no clue what Celebrate Recovery even was, and that I should be going for myself to get healing for all the resentment and the bitterness that I had against him. So Celebrate Recovery wasn't only for him, it was for me too.
When I look around, I think, you know, like, I couldn't have came from a darker place, like literally like the pit of hell is what I felt like. And I do look around, but I think, man, this is awesome that God would use me. Like, it's almost turned into a sense of like feeling honored. And that's how I feel. I'm like, man, this is that you would use me like me. I know that doesn't come from God, that feeling, but I mean, I'm just like what? You know, like there's no way. And like now it's to where it's just an excitement. It has been for a while, but I mean, God changed our heart through our prayers, our words, and then it's like all lined up. Like it was like he just, you know, conformed it to what his desire was, not ours. There's always been churches, there's always been godly men and women, but this is the timing of God, and I truly believe that. And that's where my excitement comes from, because I'm like, this is like everything just falling into place like the way God wanted it. And I think at times that other things were in the way, and it's his season, his time right now, and this valley's gonna change as long as the people that love God do what they're supposed to do and serve this community.